Okay, so how many times have you sort of like met some girl? Maybe you met her, or maybe you just saw a picture of her, and you start obsessing about her. You start thinking about her all the time, and you hardly know her. I mean, it could be that you start obsessing over like an Instagram model or something like that, somebody whom you've definitely never met. And you start obsessing, and your mind just goes back to her over and over and over again, right? I mean, has that happened to you? Because it's happened to me. It's happened to me. It's happened to every guy. Every guy at some point in his life obsesses about some girl. I mean, just really just loses his shit over a girl that he does not know. I actually think what it is a combination of two things. See, on the one hand, sexual desire, which is a natural impulse. You're a guy, you're a young guy, and of course you have the urge to fuck. Yes, of course, to reproduce. That's the whole point of it, right? But you also obsess about her for this other reason that is unique to men, that women don't have, which is the desire to fix stuff, to conquer stuff, to understand stuff. See, how many times have you been like working on your like computer, or maybe you are working on an engine for a lawnmower, or who knows what, right? And it's not working, and you obsess about it, and you think about it, and you grind about it over and over and over until you finally solve it, right? Maybe it's a problem in your physics problem set or whatever. Maybe it's whatever. It doesn't really matter. The point is, see, you have some problem, and your natural autism comes out, right? I love that feeling, to tell you the truth. That feeling that, my mind, every single neuron in my little head, the few that I have left, it focuses on one point, on one problem. And I grind about that problem, right? I mean, it's happened to me more than once that I've been grinding on a problem at work or wherever, something that's really just like, gnawed at me, right? And I think about it and think about it and think about it. I eat dinner, I go to sleep, and then in the middle of the night, I wake up with a solution, right? That is the best feeling. Yeah, guys are like that. Guys are like that. We love that. We love that challenge. We love that challenge of a problem that has to be solved, and we grind about it. And this ability to focus and obsess over a problem and go on and on and on about this problem and not relent. On the contrary, double down insofar as applying neurons to the problem, right? This is an incredibly useful power. But you see where I'm leading, of course. That see, when you find yourself sexually attracted to some girl, your sexual interest zeroes in, and at the same time, it intersects with this obsessiveness that we naturally have that is exceedingly useful. It's exceedingly useful to solve problems, which is what men are, and inherently, we are problem solvers, and so it intersects. And of course, the issue becomes that, see, we have this sexual desire and we have this obsessiveness, and so we start obsessing about the girl. We start obsessing about a girl that we don't know, and we start wondering what to do, how to fix the situation, how to get her into our lives, how to fuck her, basically. We start obsessing about that. Now, obsessing about a girl can potentially be very destructive, okay? Of course, in the extreme, it can lead to all kinds of consequences, horrifying consequences, okay? But, let's assume that this is the average, okay? You're an average guy and you have an average obsession over some girl, whatever the girl is, right? You're not stalking her or anything, but you're just grinding about her, right? Well, what's going to happen is that you're going to waste a lot of time on her, and to no benefit. Yeah, you're just going to be obsessing about her. You're going to be masturbating till all hours of the night and day, and God knows how many times per day you're going to be jerking off to this girl that you don't know, right? And you're not going to be paying attention to your life. It's going to distract you. It's just going to be a whole holy mess, right? So this is what you have to do. You have to find another girl. Multiple girls, actually. Yeah, that's the solution, see? And you have to actually have sex with these other girls. Yeah. You see, because when you're obsessing about a girl, say it's some Instagram thought or whatever, it doesn't really matter. See, you're focusing on this girl, and more likely than not, you're obsessing about her because you don't have any sexual partner, okay? You don't have any sexual partner, and also because you don't have that many sexual opportunities. It could be that you start obsessing about an actual girl, you know, classmate, workmate, whomever, right? You start obsessing about her. And see, this is going to be sorry, I have to do this quick insert because I forgot to mention something crucial in the main video. And so this little addendum in the middle of it. When you obsess about one girl, your natural obsessiveness, your natural focus zeroes in on her. And that's why you're obsessing about her, of course. Right? Yeah. You obsess about her, and what happens? You ignore every other woman. Of course. Because that's the whole point of your obsessiveness. Your obsessiveness, which is so useful in problem solving, where you ignore all of reality and focus everything on the one problem. When that is turned on a woman that you're obsessing about, some girl that you hardly know, you focus on her and ignore every other woman around, which is, of course, the exact opposite of what you want to do. Because if you're obsessing about a girl, the way to get over that obsession is to hook up with other girls. But your natural obsessiveness will make you ignore them. They're like blinders. Yeah. Don't forget that. Back to the video. And so what you have to do is you have to deliberately set this girl that you are obsessing about aside in your mind and go out and focus on other girls. Any other girl. And it doesn't matter how ugly they are. It doesn't matter how little you find them attractive, okay? If you're with another girl meaning in the sense that you have sex with another girl, your obsessiveness with the girl that you don't know is going to radically diminish. And this is a healthy thing. See, because those kinds of obsessions, sometimes they tip over. Sometimes they tip over and they become really dangerous. And you don't want that, of course. They become dangerous to the object of your obsessiveness and to yourself. You can potentially wreck your life. Over what? Over a mirage. Because that's what we're talking about here. You're obsessing about some girl and it's really a mirage. There's nothing there. And often as not, the best way to completely destroy an obsession is to actually get to know the girl, get to know her really well, and realize that she's not all that. She's not that special. She just has certain little, stimuli that triggered your sexual desire and your natural obsessiveness in a way that is unhealthy, right? Sometimes that's the best way to get over your obsession over some girl. Discover who she really is. Get to know her really well and realize that she's not very bright. She's kind of silly or superficial. She's whatever. Or it could be that you saw a picture of her and she just looked really, really attractive and you meet her in real life and she's not attractive at all, like what happened to me. Oh yeah. Yeah, because I was living in New York in the very late 90s and I saw some picture of some girl who was just gorgeous, right? And she was in some magazine and I was looking at this picture and I was like, holy cow, is she beautiful? I mean, I kept going back to the picture and I was sitting, as things would have it, I was sitting in this store that belonged to the sister of a friend of mine. Right? And it was a Vogue magazine and I kept looking at this girl and she was gorgeous, right? And the sister of my friend noticed me seeing the picture, which is embarrassing in and of itself, right? She noticed that I was almost drooling over this picture. And the sister of my friend said, "You want to meet her?" And I was like, holy shit, you know her? And she's like, yeah, she's a model. She works here and she's done some shows here and I can introduce you. And I was like, fuck yeah! And I met her. I met this girl that I, had a mini obsession with, because it was only as long as I saw the picture, right? And before I met her, in my mind, I'd built her up as this amazing girl, right? And I met her and she was a fucking idiot. Yeah. I mean, she was just a retard, right? And not only a retard, but she was, I found her just kind of crass. She was just not pleasant to be around. She's not feminine. She was sort of mannish, And yeah, it was just the one picture that had captured my imagination. When I actually met her, it was like, eek, no, thank you. And that obsessiveness, gone and never to return. And the funny thing is, now I remember retrospectively, see, this poor girl, you know, she thought that she had me on the hook, and there must have been something in my face when she got to talking and I got to realize who she really is, because she started panicking. And she later called me up to try to go out on a date, and I politely refused. This is a fucking fashion model, right? But yeah, that's how powerful it can be, how your illusions can be completely divorced from reality. And sometimes the best cure for these illusions is for them to rub up against reality and realize that reality is not very clever, you know, not very interesting, not very feminine, and kind of annoying. Now, I have to be honest here. There is something exquisitely painful and lovely about obsessing about some girl. Yeah, I mean, we all know that. There's that feeling, that ache, you know, because it's the ache of promise. Yeah, you know, you see some girl, you obsess about some girl, and you know, your imagination fills her up with qualities that she likely does not have, right? But during that period that you obsess about some girl, there is the promise that she is like that, the possibility, the hope that she's like that, that she's this perfect girl. And that's an exquisite feeling, because, you know, hope is one of the most powerful and dangerous emotions, right? Because it's not real. It's just all the things that you want created in your head into one package. And you know, the hope will make you run after somebody, thinking that they are this package that you have in your head, right? Hope is a wonderful feeling, okay? And so I'm, how could I put it? I'm a bit ambivalent here about, you know, shitting on hope, right? Because hope leads you to do things, to strive for greatness. Hope that you can achieve some mountaintop, some great goal. Yeah, it spurs you on to that great goal, which is a good thing, right? But insofar as women, it's been my experience that you should not let hope have free rein. You should not let your imagination run wild insofar as women are concerned, okay? Because women are human beings. They are no different from men. No different from men in the way they are, the way they relate to the world. And look at the men in your life, you know, the other guys that you know. How many of them do you really like? How many of them do you think are just really great guys? It's probably a minority. It's probably what, maybe 1 in 7, maybe 1 in 10, right? Guys that you've known them enough to know that, you know, this guy is a great guy and this guy not so much and this guy even less, and well, you get the point, right? If you think that only 1 in 10 guys is really worthwhile, is really a decent guy that you'd want to be friends with, well, it's probably going to be the same insofar as women are concerned, okay? And so you got to understand that. You have to understand that it's just the obsessiveness that you feel for some girl is just an accident of your psychological makeup. It's a combination, like I said at the beginning of this video, of your sexual drive on the one hand and your obsessiveness. Indulge this feeling, right? Indulge it once in a while, but carefully. Recognize what it is. Because sometimes when you're down in the dumps and you're not feeling great, maybe your life is a little bit in the crapper, right? When you obsess about some girl and you imagine that she's so wonderful, right? You can get a lot out of it. Yeah, you can get a lot out of it. You can find a measure of solace, especially when your life is shit, okay? But you have to be very careful, okay? It's a little bit like a drug, you know? Like I always say, you know, cocaine's a great drug, but 1 line is too many and 2 is not enough, right? Same with this kind of obsessiveness about a girl, you know? A little bit of obsessiveness about some girl is a little bit too much, but a lot of obsessiveness, then it gets really dangerous. Yeah, hope this helps.